The battles aren't over. That's my message to you, my subscribers here in Knysna. I'm Mike, Wicked Mike Hampton from Love Knysna, and I've been out of touch with you, and I'm just trying to give you an update on where I stand. I'm still thick in the middle of it and trying to figure out if there's a right way through, or if our town, like our country, is beyond the point of redemption without a crash. New beginnings and all. Do I continue or don't I? I'm accepting that I'm alone publicly, which is quite a big decision because I've tried for years to galvanize the public to stand up. And I now accept that that's just not going to happen. That is not where the mindset or the zeitgeist is. The world is changing, and it's changing for the worse at the moment. We are under pressure, and people are far more likely to hide than step forward. But I admit I need your support, and I ask that you do that in whatever way is comfortable for you. I want to make another drive towards correcting the wrongs and fighting the corruption issues I've presented to you with regards to Knysna and to a degree the Western Cape. There are many people I like in our town. The glaring fact is that none are visible where it counts most, that's standing up for shared beliefs instead of clear rules. The sad fact, and this is on a personal level, is that prevents loyalty, which is needed if happy relationships are ever to become true friendships in my life. So no matter how much I care about people, I just can't relate to those who don't stand up, because they are essentially giving a free pass to all those who are making our lives smaller and harder. And that's a sad fact, because when I walk through town, I am greeted so warmly by so many people. I mean, it was quite incredible 2 weeks back where in the same, over just a couple of days, 3 people paid for my breakfast. They weren't even sitting with me. They saw me and they just went to the counter and they paid my breakfast. Those are fantastic gestures, and I accept those, those warm thoughts. But in the bigger picture, where that I'm trying to connect and stand with like-minded people at the same moment against this darkness. It's up for debate. You can decide if I'm right or wrong, but I feel alone in a crowd. So I mentioned that first because that was a clinching personal thought for the rest of what I want to say, and have decided here today. So let's start with subscribers are up. 5,488 of you on the Love Knysna Facebook. I mean, that's a hell of a lot for a small town. So thank you for appreciating the effort that goes into the page. I'm just one guy, so it's for no pay. It's challenging in itself, but it is nice to know that people are listening. Disturbingly, and probably more importantly, I'm still not conquering those things I've told you about in the past, my backlog of legalities and politics. There's boxes lying at my feet of papers that I still have to go through. My activism, where I wanted to count the most, has suffered, and I believe that also makes Knysna suffer, because my goal really is to help and gain the truth that has been withheld us for so long. My work pile, just glares at me enormously. It's just not like those friendly monsters in Monsters Inc. I fear that if I don't conquer them by the end of the year, which I will give in more detail just now why, I'll never get it done. It's my nature to want to help people, so it's hard for me to say no, but that distracts me from the bigger picture. I have to start saying no, not because I don't care, but maybe because I care too much, and I need to stop diluting my efforts. I must put my empathy where it'll be most effective and most likely to succeed. I want to know that I gave this my best shot. Our politicians, they still want to shut me up, so I've forced myself to be visible to the point of exhaustion, and part of the reason why I'm chatting today, I just got so depressed, and I found that quite hard to overcome. I need to be effective where it counts most. What they've accomplished is putting me in a corner, where I haven't done kids trips for months. I was quite proud of those, helping the poorer kids in town, and it was really nice to see the smiles on people's faces and meet new adult helpers. But I'm on the defense, and I need to just say I'm not going to feel guilty about that. I'm just going to let it go and rather start that up again next year. I hear that some of those people with court cases against me have been bragging around town, acting as if they've already won. In fact, if they've won anything, it's the smaller picture, and none of the actual issues that I have discussed have been the object of the court cases. All right. They are just saying that I am not allowed to criticize them or call them names such as liar, because that is defamation. You know, where they do have something right is that I would have lost the battle if I lose the battle inside my own head, and so that's something I want to give some time to and get myself back on the right track. I need to move forward, putting the blame where it's truly needed on those who've deliberately withheld information from us and misused our public funds. We do not work for them, they work for us. I hope you just say that again and again inside your heads. We do not work for them, they work for us. All right. I have no doubt that our country is in a cold war for power, and that it's really about big business, and that the DA and ANC do not care about us when it matters. It's my belief that our courts, police, and government officials sometimes take sides, not with truth and justice, but with whoever is in power in their area. If true, that would mean siding with bad politicians in our town. It's the only conclusion that makes sense, considering the enormous amount of evidence that I've provided, which has been ignored with no justification. It's the only thing that makes sense, considering some bizarre things that have happened to me, from threats and the political offer of a monthly bribe to my evidence in court cases going missing. I have kept my middle finger as strong as I can, pointed at them, but that's stubbornness, and it's not as practical as doing something about it, and it's not defense as they try to discredit. And the discrediting, that side has gotten damn dirty. Again, I'll have to come back to you and tell you about that in the next blog. So I'm going to write less. I've tried to actually stay away from Facebook and giving you as much information as possible. Maybe it's become a little bit of addiction because I always return and I lose the priority. I need to be less here, but I want you to know that I'm not defeated yet, that there's more I need to tell you, all right, but I must prioritize. Weather reports, rugby scores, for example, they may gain me subscribers, but they do not improve our lives. They merely distract us. I will make the occasional adverts or light-hearted post over the next week, so that I fulfill my promises to people. I really hate letting people down, but I felt that this year I've started to do that because I just took on too much. My intentions are behind my actions, and I hate being in that state. So let me rather, for the majority of the rest of the year, be more serious and concentrate on articles that carry weight over a longer term. You know, however, just so you know, I still exist. You know, on the days I'm researching, not writing, there will be a start your day joke posted here on Facebook. I have rent paid in advance for 4 months, and I've stocked up with 64 cans of food plus rice and pasta. I have never been in a situation that's fortuitous. It's an opportunity I must seize to gain focus and accomplish as much as I can. That means addressing unresolved issues. It does not mean taking on new ones, as I can't help but feel that this life I fell into has a limited lifespan. Whether something happens to me or, you know, whether I just eventually give up. I will start by summarizing all that has happened to try and make you understand exactly what has gone wrong in our town the past 4.5 years. These summaries need to be simple, but they also need to be absolutely crammed with facts, backed up by evidence that cannot be ignored by any except those with a hidden agenda of propaganda or those with confirmation bias or willful ignorance. The fact is, there are many people in our town who will only side with the ANC, will only side with the DA, or white or black, and they will do that no matter what you say. My message here is for those people who think for themselves. All right, let me present you facts, and you go verify them. Ask questions. I'm confident that you will find out that there's justification for what I am saying. Again, you know, I've kept quiet for a couple of months on the political front. This post may put me under pressure from those who do not want you to know the truth of our town, and I believe it's because the truth may punish them. But I've always tried to be sincere with you, my warts and all, so here it is. And here I am, you know, possibly defeated one day in the future, but as I've said before, that isn't today. Thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you for reading this. And please, when you get those posts, share them. I mean, you know, nobody can ever harm you for sharing a post. The more shares, the more coverage, the more awareness, and the more safety for me. Thanks very much. Cheers, Knysna.